Hey, everybody. Looks like the audio is working. That's good. So this is chapter 8, Stephen, and we're doing this early again because Lucy has a birthday party that we're going to do, a little bit of a birthday walk in about 30 minutes. So I wanted to factor this in and get this done so that everything works out. So chapter 8, Stephen. A shabby caravan pulled by a fat old horse was trundling towards the village along the broad river path. At first, Leif thought there were two figures sitting on the driver's seat. But as the caravan drew closer, he saw that he had been mistaken. There was only one, a huge golden-haired man with dark brown skin, singing his rather surprising song at the top of his voice. Impulsively, Leif moved forward. Wait, Barda muttered. Looks and words can be deceiving. Hold on. I need to make sure that I switch the Wi-Fi here. Actually, I shouldn't do that because if I do that, it'll disconnect. So it won't switch over. So. Okay, so it looks like there's probably like a little glitch in there, but it is still streaming, which is good. Okay, here we go. So there's a caravan trundling forward. Leif nodded and looks like words can be deceiving. Leif nodded and stayed where he was, but when he heard the man's song falter as the caravan drew up to the ruined town sign and saw the sorrow on the broad face, he was not willing to wait any longer. The man's mouth turned down as he saw the three emerge from the shadows. Ah, he said, this is a bad business. He climbed down from the caravan and looked around him, taking in the desolation. But I am not surprised. Every year for many years, we have come here on our rounds, and each time I have feared finding this very thing. He shook his head. I warned them. I said to them, give it up, my friends. Move on. Life is precious. But they were so brave, so foolish. Eyes. You speak of your rounds, said Barda, who was still very worried. What rounds? The man looked up. Why, I am a peddler, sir, he said politely. I sell, I buy, and I trade. Stephen B. is my name. He gestured at the fading letters on his cart. S and N B. Fine wares bought and sold. To Leif's surprise, there was a movement behind him, and Dane stepped forward. Dane, he said, I saw you there, but I was not sure you wished to be recognized in this company. These are friends, said Dane. They are helping me on my way to Torah, Stephen. I am going there at last. The grin faded. These are bad tidings, Stephen said. Why do you not stay where you are safe? This part of the country is not kind to travelers. Yet you travel every day, Leif pointed out. Stephen shrugged his massive shoulders. I, he said, as if that was another matter altogether. Ah, yes, but I have protection. Leif stared. The man was unarmed and seemed quite alone except for the old horse. He was big, certainly, but Nevitz always travels with him, said Dane quickly, and Leif thought warningly. Stephen put his head on one side. Would you like to meet Nevitz? He inquired. Oh no, we would not dream of disturbing him, Dane exclaimed, before Leif and Barda could say anything. But before you go, my friends and I would like to buy some goods for our journey, Stephen. The man beamed. A pleasure to serve you, he said. He strode to the back of the caravan and threw open the doors. The space was fitted out as a tiny shop crammed with clothes and household needs. The brother is not hiding in here in any case, thought Leif. And what are we to buy? For plainly we are expected to buy something. He watched as Dane brought a small cooking pot he did not need. Then Stephen turned to him. And what is your fancy, sir? Stephen asked. Leif held out a coin and gestured to a basket containing many small packets of what looked like toffee. Stephen raised his eyebrows, but took the coin and tossed him 2 packets. Then it was Barda's turn, and to Leif's surprise, Barda pointed to a wide cloth belt embroidered with a pattern of dull gold and brown leaves. If that is within my means, I will take it, Barda said. A fine choice, said Stephen, removing the belt from its hook. And to you, a friend of Dane's, only 3 silver coins. He measured Barda's waist with his eyes. You could find it a little snug, however, he added. It is not for me, said Barda, counting out the money. It is a gift. Stephen nodded and passed over the belt. Ah, well, he said, our journey has not been quite without profit, and that is one good thing, but this place makes me sad, and that will never do. We will stay no longer. As he turned away to close the door, he began mumbling to himself. A strange character, Leif thought, and a little mad, for this brother he speaks of seems to exist only in his imagination. Perhaps Nevitz died, and this turned Stephen's wits. Stephen finished bolting the doors and walked to the front of the caravan. As he put his foot on the step to climb up to the driver's seat, he turned back to Dane. Give up this idea of Torah for now, Dane, and come with us, he said, stretching out a friendly hand. There is room on the seat for you. Soon we will be meeting with some of your friends to make a delivery. Could you return to the stronghold with them, Dane? Dane shook his head. I thank you most sincerely for the offer, Stephen, he said, but I cannot accept. Stephen looked regretful, then shrugged and finished his climb. When he was safely on the driver's seat again, he bent and fumbled underneath it. There was a clinking sound, and at last he brought out a small jar. Then he passed it to Dane. With my compliments, he said. May it help you on your journey. As Dane stammered his thanks, Leif looked curiously at the jar. With a small shock, he saw the familiar quality brand honey label. Stephen saw him looking and put a finger to the side of his nose. Not a word, he said. He clicked to the horse. The caravan lurched forward and slowly turned until it was facing the way it had come. Barda, Leif, and Dane raised their hands in farewell. Stephen grinned and waved. Then he shook the jingling reins, and the caravan creaked away. He sells queen bee honey, Leif muttered, but I thought it was in short supply. He sells only to the resistance, said Dane, looking down at the jar. And then he charges only a fraction of the honey's worth. Do you not understand? He is no ordinary peddler. He is the son of Queen Bee herself. Leif drew a quick breath. But what with this talk of a brother, Barda demanded. He was alone. A cloud seemed to pass over Dane's face. Stephen is never alone, he said. Nevitz is always with him, but Nevitz is not a man you would like to meet. I have seen him only once, and I never want to do so again. As they stared, he turned to look after the caravan. Nevitz only appears when Stephen or someone close to him is threatened. Most of the time, he stays within. Barda shook his head impatiently. There was no one within, he snorted. The caravan contains only goods for sale. Not within the caravan, murmured Dane. Within Stephen himself. Leaf felt the hairs rise on the back of his neck. He peered along the path. The caravan was almost hidden by a fine cloud of dust. But the jingling of the bells on the horse's reins floated back to him, and over the bells came the sound of a singing. Colly wobbly olly o, jolly wally olly o, colly wobbly olly o, you don't bother me. But this time, Leaf could have sworn that instead of one voice, there were two. Creepy. Okay, that's the end of chapter 8. Enjoy, and I'll see you at least Lucy's birthday party.